seemed too obvious at the time, so I just want to make sure. Okay, now John's going to shoot. He's going to try to get 3 for 3. I'm sure he'll do just fine. A little closer?
Yes.
A little closer. Okay. I don't want to be too mean.
Okay.
Go for it.
I got it.
Drum roll, please. Very nice, very nice. Okay, hit it. That was pretty close.
That was close.
Oh! Very nice. Don't screw up my metaphor. Where the heck did that go? Anyway, okay. Okay, here we go. Okay. John was what, 1 for 3? Amazingly 1 for 3. Almost screwed up my metaphor. This is very upset. Very upset. Okay, here's the deal. I'm using this as a metaphor in the sense that the distance between the person shooting and the waste paper basket is the environment that we're dealing with. Okay, environment, I don't mean squirrels and bunnies and trees and stuff like that. Oh, that's me. Okay, this is what I mean. In the United States and Europe, Japan spent $350 billion a year on agricultural subsidies. We subsidize our agricultural industry heavily, and I do mean heavily to the tune to where you guys pay somewhere between $4,000 and $5,000 in your taxes. But go for that. We'll get to that later. Well, we're just advantaging our business, right? Maybe. Here's my question. If we are supposedly creating poverty in the third world, and it's our tax dollars, I'd like to know. It's not my specialty. My specialty, to be honest, I got volunteered for this. My specialty is terrorism. Doesn't really fit here. But this is what scholars will tell you when we talk about this. So, let's go a little farther. The subsidies that we talk about gave a great advantage to Jess over John. But it's supposed to be free trade. It's supposed to be free market, that's what we say. And I think it probably should be. So if it's free trade and free market, we subsidize, they don't. We do other things. We force them to lower their tariffs while we raise ours at times. Changes the rules of the game just a little bit. So, we're gonna do this one more time. There you go. You're the third world poor country. You did amazing, so I'm not going to get you much closer. But I'm going to say the West, very wealthy countries, oftentimes will give food aid to the poorer countries. So I'm going to use my metaphor to move it a little closer. We've helped you guys out a little bit. Now, of course, when we give free food aid and dump a whole lot of food aid on the market, it totally destroys local, businesses. So I should probably actually move back here, but I'm going to be nice. So I'm going to put you right there, and you get to shoot 3 for 3. Go for it. Come on, you can do it, Okay, what do you think that metaphor means, besides me slapping it out of the way and him being sneaky and getting past me? Tariff walls. When their goods, no matter how cheaply they can produce them, no matter how much they played by the rules in the capitalist system, when their goods try to come in, we put tariff prices so theirs get higher. We force them oftentimes, we meaning lots of different countries, to lower theirs. So that when our cheap stuff that is subsidized gets into their market, their farmers literally cannot produce at the same price. They go bankrupt. 2 minutes. That ought to be easy. Okay. I'm going to skip ahead and say thank you very much. These guys, round of applause. And I'm going to skip ahead about 16 slides. Here we go. Subsidies, crippling Africa. Let's see, crippling Africa, crippling poor countries, da-da-da. There we go, $7 billion a year. You guys are taking all this in, right? Okay, here we go. 800 farmers. Up until now, I've given you kind of abstract concepts like tariffs and subsidies and stuff like that are hard for us to put our arms around at times. But in countries like India, in this particular area, we're talking cotton farmers, the effects are not abstract. Sometimes they're concrete. This is a study in November of 2007. 800 farmers have taken their lives in that particular region. An estimated 100,000 farmers over the past decade throughout that country had committed suicide. On average, one farmer commits suicide every 8 hours in that region. The suicides have left thousands of widows in the region, many of them between 19 and 25 years of age. Abstract concepts like subsidies, tariffs, have ramifications, very concrete, very real ones. Now, I'm not here today to tell you you're bad, because this is not about us for the most part. My point is to start a conversation and provoke you a little bit and say, what do we do about this? Is this true? Is it not? Are we for capitalism? Is it really truly free trade? And if it is, shouldn't we walk that walk instead of being free trade sometimes and not in others? That's my question, okay? And now if you're really, really mad at me, don't throw anything. You can ask me questions later on. But I'm going to hand the mic over to Chef Thomas.
I stay away from the ladder, that's for sure. I did bring my knives though, so watch out. Okay, my name is Chef Thomas. That's not me.
No, that's suicide.
Hi. Well, I'm a little bit depressed now. So, after hearing all about this cool food here from Beth and all that terrorism going on in our food industry, I have a really hard following now. But I'm actually going to talk with you about something new. Right? And this is a new word. And I actually had to research that word. I'm from Austria. My spelling is already bad. Okay? But when they said, Thomas, why don't you talk about agriculture? I was like, don't you spell this differently? Isn't it agriculture? So I took the liberty and actually researched a little bit what actually agriculture means, and some of the other terms you might have read in the newspaper, or you might read in the newspapers, or you will research in the next couple of days when you're part of our speaker series here. Because it's actually really worthwhile. You learn a lot, not just because we are MCC instructors and we're all cool. It's always nice and we climb ladders, but this is our life we're talking about. This is essentially our kids' lives, and I see there's a lot of students, and some of those students do already have kids. You gotta really ask yourself, how do you influence your kids to make the right decisions? We are here as mentors and guides. We're not here to tell you what's right or wrong. We give you options, and I'll give you a couple options of new words. How about that? So agronomy, the science of soil management, land cultivation, and crop production. It's in the dictionary, not a big change. I was a little bit shocked about the next one I found. Agro-industrial. Ooh, that sounds like a German rock band. Used in, produced by, I think used in is already the first hitting word for me, or involved in the industrial processing of agricultural products. That kind of makes no sense to me whatsoever. When I think about it, agriculture, I see like a farmer, you know, like driving on his truck, and his little field, and all of a sudden you have like a plane waiting for the crop, you know. That's kind of how it feels to me. And then we have agro-soil culture. Agro stands for soil, and the culture means actually, culture is necessary for a healthy society. This is the regular description for culture. Okay? That has nothing to do with the agro. Culture is necessary for a healthy society. Let's just linger this for a little bit. Healthy society. What did we just hear? Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah. I'm gonna ask you, does this sound right? Agriculture? Are we really healthy?